And welcome everyone to an NABC chat. I'm Andy Katz, pleased to be joined by Marcus Kahn. The Division III national champions, it occurred in April at Cambridge in thrilling fashion. Buzzer beater, which we don't often get. I don't care what level of men's basketball or women's basketball for a national championship. You've had some time to digest that. When you think back to that moment, to that shot, what do you immediately think of?
Oh, just how exciting it was. It was I mean, it was just yeah, it was for all the guys to watch them rush the floor like that and the excitement that's surrounded from our fan base that traveled out to Indianapolis from here. It was just I mean, it was probably the most exciting point in my professional career.
How has life changed since winning a national championship?
Yeah, it's been busier actually, which is funny in a good way. In a good way, I've it's given me a lot of more opportunities to get out and meet more people in the public here in Fredericksburg. I've been able to speak at a couple of different dinners and actually the Rotary breakfasts, and it's been a lot of fun to be able to do that. It's put me on able to opportunity to meet you here and have this conversation. So a lot more things have come along with it, but it's all I wouldn't change it for anything.
So this was a great sort of basketball festival that we had in Indianapolis. Division one, two, three on the men's side, NIT final. All three of those were at Cambridge. Lucas Oil obviously had the men's national championship on Monday. The semis for two and three were not in Indianapolis, but I just want to sort of pull back. What did you think of that going in, how it was executed, and the end result?
The end result was, and I'll start there. I think that the more they do that, the better. For Division Three, I'll speak for Division Three here for a second. To have that opportunity to play the combined division championship, it was awesome for our guys. From the experience from traveling out to the hotel accommodations to the way they treated us in the city and in the arena, we don't often get that. The weekend or 2 weeks prior, we were out in Fort Wayne for the Elite Eight Final Four games, and that was awesome too. We had 8 teams there for that for the first night, which was a lot of fun. A lot of really good Division III basketball being played. Again, in an arena that we typically don't get to play in, and so I hope that they decide to do this more often with the combined Final Four, and I obviously I hope I'm a part of it again, but if not, I'm excited for any team that gets to have that experience. It was terrific.
Logistically, you got to have the right city. Obviously, Indy has Cambridge, Lucas Oil, a lot of hotels. What made this work, do you think, so well?
Well, I think just that. I think that Indianapolis was probably the best city for it, having been to a number of Final Fours before. Everything was close, like you said, the arena, and then to the stadium for the Division One games were right next to each other, or certainly right down the road. All the hotels, everything else going on in Indianapolis. And I thought the city of Indianapolis did a great job hosting the entire event. I think that. Yeah, the Elite Eight games for us, if there is anything downside to it, it was 2 weeks. So we had a bye week kind of in between. Um, our guys, as I'm sure Emery would probably say the same thing, we're a little tired of practicing by the time we got to our conference tournament. So to kind of put that all on hold for a week towards the end was a lot. But again, it was fun to manage that, to navigate it, to kind of figure out what's the best way for our team to get through it. But it was awesome.
All right, so obviously, the portal, the money, all that stuff is taking up a lot of the oxygen in the sport at the D1 level. What's happening at D3 here immediately after a championship weekend, where everyone was dealing with roster movement at the D1 level, literally from the buzzer sounding in Indy to, sort of the NBA Combine. I mean, I know it was a couple weeks, but I mean, it just seems like it's still ongoing. It's sort of starting to settle down. What was it like at your level?
Yeah, it's very similar, not to the same extent, but I noticed, and I won't speak for any other teams, but I noticed some teams that we beat along the way in the tournament. They had guys in the portal the next morning. I know for us, we had a very similar experience, and now our guys coming back, which is terrific. Um, but it is trickling down like everything else does in our sport. Not the money, not all the NIL money, but the portal. These guys that are put on a stage like we were on this year, do well and have an opportunity to put their name in the portal and see what happens. And so the portal is definitely real at Division III. Um, I would say that the NIL portion is coming. Obviously, not to the same extent, but it's here. It's here.
So in terms of roster management, what's life like for you after winning a title?
Well, we're fortunate. We have what got us to the title was our roster of just having really good kids that picked Mary Washington for more reasons than just basketball. So all of our guys are returning, with the exception of one. We did have two guys enter the portal. One graduated early. He's going on to grad school elsewhere because we don't have what he was looking for. He was actually able to go up to Division II for a grad year. All 14 of the guys are coming back, and so we're really excited about that. But I know some others are in different situations, but we're pretty fortunate.
Oh, so with that being said, I mean, how do you navigate the wheels churning of trying to repeat?
Wow. I'm just trying to enjoy this one now for at least a little bit longer. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely there. It's part of every conversation I've had is, okay, so you do return everybody, so we'll be back there again, right? And it is such a long season and a grind to just get to that point. Yeah, I mean, we certainly have a really good roster in place, and as long as I don't screw it up, we'll have a chance of getting back there again. But there's a lot of other teams will have a say in that for sure.
Hey, last thing before I let you go, it's not a rules change year, but the rules committee did some serious discussions on quarters, and men's basketball is still that outlier with two halves versus four quarters. My gut is if D1 did it, two and three would. That's something I just don't see it in terms of basketball rules being separate within divisions. Where do you stand on four quarters versus two halves?
Yeah, I like the way it is. Maybe I'm just stuck in my ways with that too, but I prefer the two halves, just because that's what we do, and it works. I'm really not sure why we would change it. I know the women's side did, and we're the only ones not in the quarter system, but I like the tradition of the two halves, and knowing how to manage that and not throwing another timeout in there. I like the way we have it.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I know the rules committee told me is because at least at the high D1 level, you got to figure out the commercials, and so if you put a timeout at 7 and 3, I mean 7 is right off the bat,
Yeah.
and trying to manage like when that other timeout would come because you probably would need a second one because of all the breaks that you need to get in. It is tough to try to see, and so I'm not quite sure that it's ever going to happen.
Yeah, again, I hope it stays how we have it now with the two halves. That'd be perfect.